How's it going, guys? So I thought I'd do a video on a very common question I get a lot, and that is how to clean the ICV or idle light control valve on the BMW M62 TU. There's a quick answer to that. They actually don't have one on this engine. They quit doing that on the M62, so 1998 would be the last year on the M62 that would have the ICV, and it'd be located up here on top by a throttle body. And in 99, when they started producing the M62 TU with the Vanos, everything is incorporated in the throttle body since it's drive-by-wire. Now, that's all controlled inside. There is no servicing that. If you are having some problems like that, it could be a problem with the throttle body, but usually they don't go bad. Usually it's vacuum leaks. These engines don't have a lot of vacuum lines. The main ones being the one that comes from the secondary air, goes up here to the solenoid, and then the other one that goes over here at this little like vacuum reservoir, and then goes on back to hook onto the back of the CCV. Now, if you're having idling up and down, it's probably a vacuum line. It also could be a brake, or this thing could be off the throttle body. Could be something with this push lock hose that goes from here. It also could be back at this little cyclone thing. It had like a Y adapter, and that could break and cause problems. But 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the CCV on the rear of these intakes. So basically on these, there's 2 different ways to address this problem. I did some videos in the past on them. If you have the OEM style CCV, you go back here, you can feel on the back, there's actually a little round cap back there. You can take a screwdriver or a pry bar, you can pop the cap off, and you can check the diaphragm. Now, if you have aftermarket CCV, which is the whole unit on the back, that cap won't pop off. It'll be glued on. You'll have to probably pull the intake, pull that off. These X5s, you could cheat a little bit. You could pull this whole piece up here off. It's not too hard to get off. You don't have that luxury on the 540 and 740, but basically it has bolts right there. You go ahead and pop this guy off. You slide the little caps up and out, take those 2 bolts out, the whole cowl slides out. And then once you do that, you could get to that real easy and work on it real easy. Also, there's a few differences here on these X5s. They have basically the oil separator sits back in here. This one doesn't have it because this is a 540 engine in an X5. And then it has a banjo fitting that goes down to the oil pan and drips, separates the oil, drips it back down to the oil pan. Well, that all holds vacuum, and it sits like right back here. And that could break or crack, and there's big hoses that go to it. Check all that stuff too. Also, if you're having idle up and down problems or cold start problems, be very cautious of the mass airflow. We had this problem a few times where the mass airflow was getting bad, but it wanted to actually throw a code. And then after, it just wouldn't want to start acting real strange. Eventually I'll throw a code, and then you can read it, and it says hot film error, something of that sort. Also be cautious too of these coil packs. The coil pack can do the exact same thing. If you're having lack of power, like it's bogging out, if you floor it and it'll just kind of cut off and bog, a lot of times it'll be a bad coil pack, or you'll have either rainwater or oil down in the valley, the spark plug valleys. So a lot of times these bring me coils, these round coils, they can kind of go bad at random. I think this has a square one back there. Yeah, you can see it. And those Bosch coils, I don't know, they last longer, but you can't tell when they're bad as easy. And those square Bosch coils, they tend to have that problem a little more, to where they go bad and you can't tell with the scanner. And this thing had the problem, you know, this is just a set we threw in here. It didn't come with any coils. Had the problem, you take it out and drive it, it ran good, and you floor it, and it just wouldn't do anything. It just take off real slow. Well, that ended up being like a number one no, number 5 coil up here, and there wasn't nothing wrong with it by looking at it. And finally threw a code for number 5, so I knew right away. Took it out and tossed it, threw it away, replaced it, and that fixed that problem. So just little stuff like that on these engines. They're a little bit particular, but in the long run they're more reliable. And if you guys know this from the past, make very sure somebody's done the timing chain guides in it, but that's not going to be likely. Watch your cold start. If you're making a lot of noise on cold start, keep an eye out for that. The first, I would say, 3 or 4 seconds of cold start, if there's noise, that's probably just the timing chain tensioner pumping up. But if it's going into 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes on cold start, like a growling noise, you could actually go ahead and pull off the oil cap, and then you're going to spatter some oil out, but you can listen down in there. If you hear it growling, your timing chain guides are gone. I guess this evening I'm gonna go and pull this thing back apart. So tomorrow I'll have another timing video up with the German Auto Solution kit. I actually did a video this past week with that, and I messed up on this bank over here. I had it flipped around, and that's why it's not reading the cam sensor. So it's all gonna come back apart. We're still getting a little drip out of our dipstick. I think I might go ahead and double oil ring that. It's been a problem all along, so we'll see if that'll take care of that. And that's pretty much it. These don't have near the coolant issues of what the 6-cylinder. The 6-cylinder cars are terrible with that crap. Man, they just drip so bad. You can replace all the hoses. It'll be okay for a little while, and it'll start dripping. And one of you guys asked me, hey, it seems like every 6 months I'm having coolant leaks. And I think he had a 02 or 02 530, so E39. And I told him, I said, well, man, it's just kind of the way it is. That's why you always got to check the coolant in these things. But the V8s, they don't have as much as a problem. One good thing to do is to go ahead and, when you have everything apart, pull the O-rings out, replace the O-rings and all these small hoses. That'll save you a lot of grief in the long run. So that's it, guys. That's how you solve the ICV cleaning on the M62tu, is you just don't. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. That's it. Thanks for watching.